All right. And this is it, guys. This is the last section of the last chapter. So this is going to be it for the text, and then we'll move right on to the manual for teachers. So let's share the screen and I will begin reading and we can discuss. A Course in Miracles, chapter 31, section 8, choose once again. Temptation has one lesson it would teach in all its forms, wherever it occurs. It would persuade the Holy Son of God he is a body, born in what must die, unable to escape its frailty, and bound by what it orders him to feel. It sets the limits on what he can do. Its power is the only strength he has. His grasp cannot exceed its tiny reach. Would you be this if Christ appeared to you in all his glory, asking you but this? Choose once again if you would take your place among the saviors of the world or would remain in hell and hold your brothers there. For he has come and he is asking this. How do you make the choice? How easily is this explained? You always choose between your weakness and the strength of Christ in you. And what you choose is what you think is real. Simply by never using weakness to direct your actions, you have given it no power. And the light of Christ in you is given charge of everything you do. For you have brought your weakness unto him, and he has given you his strength instead. Trials are but lessons that you failed to learn, presented once again. So where you made a faulty choice before, you now can make a better one, and thus escape all the pain that what you chose before has brought to you. In every difficulty, all distress, and each perplexity, Christ calls to you and gently says, "My brother, choose again." He would not leave one source of pain unhealed, nor any image left to veil the truth. He would remove all misery from you, whom God created altar unto joy. He would not leave you comfortless, alone in dreams of hell, but would release your mind from everything that hides his face from you. His holiness is yours because he is the only power that is real in you. His strength is yours because he is the self that God created as his only son. The images you make cannot prevail against what God himself would have you be. Be never fearful of temptation, then, but see it as it is, another chance to choose again, and let Christ's strength prevail in every circumstance and every place you raised an image of yourself before. For what appears to hide the face of Christ is powerless before his majesty and disappears before his holy sight. The saviors of the world, who see like him, are merely those who chose his strength instead of their own weakness, seen apart from him. They will redeem the world, for they are joined in all the power of the will of God. And what they will is only what he wills. Learn then the happy habit of response to all temptation, to perceive yourself as weak and miserable, with these words, I am as God created me. His son can suffer nothing, and I am his son. Thus is Christ's strength invited to prevail, replacing all your weakness with the strength that comes from God, and that can never fail. And thus are miracles as natural as fear and agony appeared to be before the choice for holiness was made. For in that choice are false distinctions gone, illusory alternatives laid by, and nothing left to interfere with truth. You are as God created you, and so is every living thing you look upon. regardless of the images you see. What you behold as sickness and as pain, as weakness and as suffering and loss, is but temptation to perceive yourself defenseless and in hell. Yield not to this, and you will see all pain in every form, wherever it occurs, but disappear as mist before the sun. A miracle has come to heal God's Son and close the door upon his dreams of weakness, opening the way to his salvation and release. Choose once again what you would have him be, remembering that every choice you make establishes your own identity, as you will see it and believe it is. Deny me not the little gift I ask, when in exchange I lay before your feet the peace of God and power to bring this peace to everyone who wanders in the world uncertain, lonely, and in constant fear. For it is given you to join with him, and through the Christ in you unveil his eyes, and let him look upon the Christ in him. My brothers in salvation, do not fail to hear my voice and listen to my words. I ask for nothing but your own release. There is no place for hell within a world whose loveliness can yet be so intense and so inclusive. It is but a step from there to heaven. To your tired eyes, I bring a vision of a different world, so new and clean and fresh, you will forget the pain and sorrow that you saw before. Yet this, a vision is which you must share with everyone you see, for otherwise you will behold it not. To give this gift is how to make it yours, and God ordained, in loving kindness, that it be for you. Let us be glad that we can walk the world and find so many chances to perceive another situation where God's gift can once again be recognized as ours. And thus will all the vestiges of hell, the secret sins and hidden hates, be gone, and all the loveliness which they concealed appear like lawns of heaven to our sight, to lift us high above the thorny roads we traveled on before the Christ appeared. Hear me, my brothers, hear and join with me. God has ordained, I cannot call in vain, and in his certainty I rest content. For you will hear, and you will choose again, and in this choice is everyone made free. I thank you, Father, for these holy ones who are my brothers, as they are your sons. My faith in them is yours. I am as sure that they will come to me as you are sure of what they are and will forever be. They will accept the gift I offer them because you gave it to me on their behalf. And so I would but do your holy will. So will they choose. And I give thanks for them. Salvation's song will echo through the world with every choice they make. For we are one in purpose, and the end of hell is near. In joyous welcome is my hand outstretched to every brother who would join with me in reaching past temptation, and who looks with fixed determination toward the light that shines beyond in perfect constancy. Give me my own, for they belong to you. And can you fail in what is but your will? I give you thanks for what my brothers are. And as each one elects to join with me, the song of thanks from earth to heaven grows from tiny scattered threads of melody to one inclusive chorus, from a world redeemed from hell and giving thanks to you. And now we say, Amen. For Christ has come to dwell in the abode you set for him before time was, in calm eternity. The journey closes, ending at the place where it began. No trace of it remains, not one illusion is accorded faith, And not one spot of darkness still remains to hide the face of Christ from anyone. Thy will is done, complete and perfectly, and all creation recognizes you and knows you as the only source it has. Clear in your likeness does the light shine forth from everything that lives and moves in you. For we have reached where all of us are one, and we are home where you would have us be.
That last paragraph reminded me when we've been talking earlier about, the instant of separation and the instant that the correction, salvation was given, and as if there was amount of time that happened. And then we talked about that there is no time. So that's why he can say this and assure us like nothing ever happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For we have, not just because we finished the text, it's
Right.
because we never left God. And it's not that, and now everybody's read this and gets it. No, it's just the literal truth that nothing else ever happened.
Yeah.
We were God, and we still are, and nothing that's ever happened has ever changed that.
Yeah.
That's what that last says to me, that paragraph 12.
Yep. That's it right there.
It's not just true for me, it's true for everybody.
Yeah. And it's the choice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the choice Christ made. That's why he could do what he did.
Yeah. And it's a choice we make every day to align with that mind of Christ and to see the Christ in our brothers, right? Because it says we're given many opportunities, right? And be thankful for it,
Right.
for the gurus in our life, right? To give us
Right.
the opportunity to align with fear or align with love.
Right.
And the more we practice aligning with love and seeing the Christ in all our brothers, the easier it gets and the closer we are.
And I just had the thought when you use guru, it's like I was thinking our triggers, like people that trigger us, but then I'm thinking, no, I have actual gurus in my life that don't ever trigger me. They trigger me in a good way. And then I was thinking, these are just thoughts and concepts, and I don't even want either of them. We're not different.
Right. There is no order of difficulty, right? No hierarchy.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And didn't it just say all living things, right? It's not just people, it's all living things.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And my cat is on my lap right now, smiling up at me, and I'm like, yeah, I see you. I see you. Every opportunity, right, to align with love. All right. Anybody else have any burning shares or comments now that we've completed the entire text? Once again.
Thank you, Terry. Wow. That's a mouthful.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just for me never ending, it's just a continuous practice for me. I know a lot of people say forget this course, and even the course says forget this course. But when I've tried to do that in the past, I also forget to practice. So this is my practice.
I'm
Hey
not ready for it.
Ernesto, we just finished the text. Thanks for joining us.
I just finished the whole book.
We just finished.
All right.
We finished the text. We're getting ready to read the introduction to the manual for teachers.
Okay, well, I came in at the right time. I couldn't get off the phone in time.
There you go. Well, we've talked about that. There is no time, so.
Right, right. No such thing as time. I know. Well, and sometimes it's some people need some people need to talk, and I allow it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that kind of a thing. And when you find somebody that you could actually be very sincere with, and there's no agenda, like friendship is something that it's still defining itself as far as I'm concerned. But it's
Mm.
about really having intimacy, really intimacy, where you're not afraid to say anything.
Mhm.
That's real friendship, and that doesn't come easy. That's all I have to say. So when you find that, it's very treasurable. Treasurable? No, I don't think that's a word.
It's a
It's a treasure, right?
yes.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
All right. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share before we go on for the manual for teachers? All righty then. I think I've shared this with everyone before. I read the manual for teachers first. It was actually the thing um, that helped me, that inspired me to read the rest of the book. Let me see if I can get back here to the beginning. There we go. Read ACIM now, and we're going to go to the manual for teachers. Past all the workbook lessons. There we go. Manual for teachers, introduction.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is for me what I've done many times when I'm going to read a book that I'm not really that interested in or want to get a little bit better info.
Yeah.
I'll read about the author. I read
Ah,
about what's the author like, what's some kind of bio on him,
yeah.
and or I also sometimes will read the end first. The
There you go. There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Let me read the introduction and then we can discuss it. Course in Miracles, Manual for Teachers, Introduction. The role of teaching and learning is actually reversed in the thinking of the world. The reversal is characteristic. It seems as if the teacher and the learner are separated, the teacher giving something to the learner rather than to himself. Further, the act of teaching is regarded as a special activity in which one engages only a relatively small proportion of one's time. The Course, on the other hand, emphasizes that to teach is to learn, so that teacher and learner are the same. It also emphasizes that teaching is a constant process. It goes on every moment of the day and continues into sleeping thoughts as well. To teach is to demonstrate. There are only two thought systems, and you demonstrate that you believe one or the other is true all the time. From your demonstration, others learn, and so do you. The question is not whether you will teach, for in that there is no choice. The purpose of the course might be said to provide you with a means of choosing what you want to teach on the basis of what you want to learn. You cannot give to someone else, but only to yourself. And this you learn through teaching. Teaching is but a call to witnesses to attest to what you believe. It is a method of conversion. This is not done by words alone. Any situation must be to you a chance to teach others what you are and what they are to you. No more than that, but also never less. The curriculum you set up is therefore determined exclusively by what you think you are and what you believe the relationship of others is to you. In the formal teaching situation, These questions may be totally unrelated to what you think you are teaching. Yet it is impossible not to use the content of any situation on behalf of what you really teach and therefore really learn. To this, the verbal content of your teaching is quite irrelevant. It may coincide with it or it may not. It is the teaching underlying what you say that teaches you. Teaching but reinforces what you believe about yourself. Its fundamental purpose is to diminish self-doubt. This does not mean that the self you are trying to protect is real, but it does mean that the self you think is real is what you teach. This is inevitable. There is no escape from it. How could it be otherwise? Everyone who follows the world's curriculum, and everyone here does follow it until he changes his mind, teaches solely to convince himself that he is what he is not. Herein is the purpose of the world. What else then would its curriculum be? Into this hopeless and closed learning situation, which teaches nothing but despair and death, God sends his teachers. And as they teach his lessons of joy and hope, their learning finally becomes complete. Except for God's teachers, there would be little hope of salvation, for the world of sin would seem forever real. The self-deceiving must deceive, for they must teach deception. And what else is hell? This is a manual for the teachers of God. They are not perfect, or they would not be here. Yet it is their mission to become perfect here. And so they teach perfection over and over in many, many ways until they have learned it. And then they are seen no more, although their thoughts remain a source of strength and truth forever. Who are they? How are they chosen? What do they do? How can they work out their own salvation and the salvation of the world? This manual attempts to answer these questions. And then I was hooked. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to read this book.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. I didn't know.
Yes, right?
Oh my goodness. What do you think? What do you think he means God sends his teachers?
So if you really listen to the words, what he's basically saying is A Course in Miracles is a manual for God's teachers. And as God's teacher, the only one we're really teaching is ourselves, right? So as we teach, we learn. I mean, we think the world says, oh, a teacher comes to tell us, to give us information and to teach us how to be good at a certain thing. But the truth is, a teacher is teaching themselves how to be good at that thing, and they're teaching about themselves, right? So it's just a reinforcement of who they are and what they are. So A Course in Miracles is saying this course is a manual for God's teachers, right?
Yeah.
And
And
we're
as
all
they-
God's teachers, and
Right.
we're all God's as well. And so the more we are tuned to that, the more we can discover and, understand, the more it becomes clear to us as we are both teacher and student. We send and we receive always. It's not something we have to have an intention on, which was huge for me because I was trained to be a teacher, an educator. And so it was a little difficult for me to get that when the student is ready, the teacher appeared, because I was always like, ta-da, here I am, the teacher. It's like, but if the student isn't ready, then the goal of the teacher is to be on that wavelength, and then we are each ready simultaneously as teacher and student, and not the other way around. The student will definitely find that which he or she is open to when she's open to it on whatever level, and so will the teacher.
You know, what's interesting, Mary, is you know how every time we read this book, we hear something different based on where we are in our process, right? So I think this was the first time I really heard the underlying message of this. And even when you said it, I heard it again. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. So who is the student?
Right.
So what I heard is,
Yeah.
I'm the student and the teacher in me appears
Yep.
when I'm ready,
Exactly.
right? So
Yep.
when the student is ready, being
You.
then the teacher appears, which is you.
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, I have truth bumps now from this.
I
Well,
do too.
and in this third paragraph, this is the clear thing that I saw. It says, in the formal teaching situation, these questions may be totally unrelated to what you think you are teaching. Okay, it says, yet it is impossible not to use the content of any situation on behalf of what you really teach, and therefore really learn. To this, the verbal content of your teaching is quite irrelevant. It may coincide with it, it may not.
Yeah.
It is the teaching underlying what you say that teaches you.
Yeah.
You know, see how it comes back to you? Teaching but reinforces what you believe about yourself.
Right.
Its fundamental purpose is to diminish self-doubt.
Right.
Wow.
And the end of paragraph 4 says, and as they teach his lessons of joy and hope, their learning finally becomes complete. So the teacher is teaching it itself.
Mhm.
The teacher and the student are the same.
Yep. Yeah.
So cool, right?
I know. And this is before I chimed in here, before I came in, this is what I was experiencing.
Mm,
Exactly this.
yeah.
Wow. And this person said to me, go ahead and join the course. You might learn something from it today.
That's great. I love it.
I know, right? Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. Anybody else have anything they want to share before we continue? That was really good. Okay.
I could share something. It keeps talking about the curriculum. And it reminded me of the introduction to the manual where it says, this is a course in miracles. It is a required course. Only the time you take it is voluntary. Free will does not mean that you can establish the curriculum. It means only that you can elect what you want to take at a given time. And I didn't realize the connection between those two introductions.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
love that, Pam.
It says it differently in this. I'm so used to the other one. And now thinking about the way he talks about it here. Have to think
Interesting.
about it.
All right. Well, let's go find out who God's teachers are. Here we go. Who are God's teachers? A teacher of God is anyone who chooses to be one. His qualifications consist solely in this: somehow, somewhere, he has made a deliberate choice in which he did not see his interests as apart from someone else's. Once he has done that, his road is established and his direction is sure. A light has entered the darkness. It may be a single light, but that is enough. He has entered an agreement with God, even if he does not yet believe in him. He has become a bringer of salvation. He has become a teacher of God. They come from all over the world. They come from all religions and from no religion. They are the ones who have answered. The call is universal. It goes on all the time, everywhere. It calls for teachers to speak for it and redeem the world. Many hear it, but few will answer. Yet it is all a matter of time. Everyone will answer in the end. But the end can be a long, long way off. It is because of this that the plan of the teachers was established. Their function is to save time. Each one begins as a single light, but with the call at its center, it is a light that cannot be limited, and each one saves 1,000 years of time as the world judges it. To the call itself, time has no meaning. There is a course for every teacher of God. The form of the course varies greatly. So do the particular teaching aids involved. But the content of the course never changes. Its central theme is always God's Son is guiltless, and in his innocence is his salvation. It can be taught by actions or thoughts, in words or soundlessly, in any language or in no language, in any place or time or manner. It does not matter who the teacher was before he heard the call. He has become a savior by his answering. He has seen someone else as himself. He has therefore found his own salvation and the salvation of the world. In his rebirth is the world reborn. This is a manual for a special curriculum intended for teachers of a special form of the universal course. There are many thousands of other forms, all with the same outcome. They merely save time, yet it is time alone that winds on wearily, and the world is very tired now. It is old and worn and without hope. There was never a question of outcome, for what can change the will of God? But time, with its illusions of change and death, wears out the world and all things in it. Yet time has an ending, and it is this that the teachers of God are appointed to bring about. For time is in their hands. Such was their choice, and it is given them. All right, time is in our hands. That was our choice.
Do you see the 12 disciples? Would we call them teachers of God? Or is that just even giving them a reality that they don't really have, like in the separation and in the illusion? We're all teachers of God. We're all teaching and learning something all the time. And it's just the choice for who, what we're teaching.
Yes, I think that, Pam. I think it's the illusion of hierarchy, right? Like we are all the Son of God. And of course, Miracles says, you can do everything Jesus, of A Course in Miracles, says, you can do everything I did because you're like me. The only difference is I'm aligned only with love, right? Jesus is only aligned with love, where we have a choice, love or fear, and we keep vacillating. And we know when we're aligned with fear because we're not wholly joyous. We know when we've done that, and we know that we have a choice at that moment to stop and choose again, right? But sometimes we get stuck and justified in our anger, justified in our vengeance and grievances, and we're just wasting time.
Yep. When we're in grievance, we're definitely wasting time.
Yeah.
It's hard. These concepts are so outside what we're used to thinking.
Yeah. outside of what we were conditioned to think.
We were conditioned to think. Thank you for
Right.
that. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes.
Yeah, but now we have a new way of thinking. And we have been given tools to make better choices aligned with love.
Mm-hmm.
To
That's
save
exactly
time.
that was exactly what my conversation was about. You know, when you're gonna do something, try to do it with love and not anger, because with anger, it's not gonna come out well,
Mhm.
especially for yourself.
Yep. And anger is fear,
Right, right. So
fear
yeah,
of not being enough, fear of not being whatever it is.
when we're in anger, we are outside of ourselves, misaligned.
We're aligning with fear. Yep. And we have a choice.
And you know, it's like you said, we're so conditioned to it, with so many years with that it takes quite a bit to.
I don't know. I'm coming on more than the halfway point with A Course in Miracles. Like I started this when when I was pregnant with my son. So, I'm already past the halfway point. So I just turned 61 and I've been doing A Course in Miracles for almost 33 years now. So yeah, I'm past the halfway point. I've been more conditioned by A Course in Miracles at this point.
And I know what you're saying, because in the conversation I was having, I was able to not just say that, you know, in terms of saying that it's with love, and if you can't say it with love, then don't say it at all. Walk away from it because what happens is that you start to become aware of the anger as being completely. It's not. Nobody's going to hear that. Most people will turn off to that. So you can say whatever you want in anger. You might as well talk to the wall.
You're definitely not going to be making strides by teaching yourself because you're the student and the teacher, right?
Well, and so the point here is that when you're in the love vibe, regardless, your demeanor is different, and you're actually putting forth more energy that way in the situation that you're in than when you're angry.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, it happened to me and this goes back a while back, where I was teaching a yoga class, you know, and it was the person who was there was very Christian and very upset as to what I was saying. And I might have told you this before, I think, because it still resonates with me. At the time, I was just like perplexed by the whole thing, you know, and this person was in anger and kind of yelling, and then the final thing she said was, you know, and I'm a God-fearing Christian, and I has been quiet the whole time, and then I just calmly said, I'm a I'm a I'm a I'm a God-loving Christian, and that stopped the whole conversation.
Yeah.
And she just like, I knew that she was stunned. I didn't have to say anything else. And that just came out of me out of the blue by staying calm, because I wanted to say something and I just didn't know what to say. I was like, oh, I got a
Yeah.
tiger. I got a tiger by the tail. What do I do now?
Yeah. And that's a perfect example of when you say, I don't know what to do, you're actually letting go, right?
Yeah.
And aligning with a higher source so that that can speak through you. So you're like, I didn't know what I was going to say and it just came, right? And that's that connection to the higher source and allowing that to come through you. That's a great example. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share? All right, let's keep going. We'll find out who are their pupils. Who are their pupils? Certain pupils have been assigned to each of God's teachers, and they will begin to look for him as soon as he has answered the call. They were chosen for him because the form of the universal curriculum that he will teach is best for them in view of their level of understanding. His pupils have been waiting for him, for his coming is certain. Again, it is only a matter of time. Once he has chosen to fulfill his role, they are ready to fulfill theirs. Time waits on his choice, but not on whom he will serve. When he is ready to learn, the opportunities to teach will be provided for him. In order to understand the teaching learning plan of salvation, it is necessary to grasp the concept of time that the Course sets forth. At-one-ment corrects illusions, not truth. Therefore, it corrects what never was. Further, the plan for this correction was established and completed simultaneously, for the will of God is entirely apart from time. So is all reality, being of him. The instant the idea of separation entered the mind of God's Son, in that same instant was God's answer given. In time, this happened very long ago. In reality, it never happened at all. The world of time is the world of illusion. What happened long ago seems to be happening now. Choices made long since appear to be open, yet to be made. What has been learned and understood and long ago passed by is looked upon as a new thought, a fresh idea, a different approach. Because your will is free, you can accept what has already happened at any time you choose. And only then will you realize that it was always there. As the Course emphasizes, you are not free to choose the curriculum or even the form in which you will learn it. You are free, however, to decide when you want to learn it. And as you accept it, it is already learned. Time really, then, goes backward to an instant so ancient that it is beyond all memory and past even the possibility of remembering. Yet because it is an instant that is relived again and again and still again, it seems to be now. And thus it is that pupil and teacher seem to come together in the present, finding each other as if they had not met before. The pupil comes at the right time to the right place. This is inevitable because he made the right choice in that ancient instant, which he now relives. So has the teacher, too, made an inevitable choice out of an ancient past. God's will in everything, but seems to take time in the working out. What could delay the power of eternity? When pupil and teacher come together, a teaching learning situation begins. For the teacher is not really the one who does the teaching. God's teacher speaks to any two who join together for learning purposes. The relationship is holy because of that purpose, and God has promised to send his Spirit into any holy relationship. In the teaching learning situation, each one learns that giving and receiving are the same. The demarcations they have drawn between their roles, their minds, their bodies, their needs, their interests, and all the differences they thought separated them from one another fade and grow dim and disappear. Those who would learn the same course share one interest and one goal, and thus he who was the learner becomes a teacher of God himself. For he has made the one decision that gave his teacher to him. He has seen in another person the same interests as his own. Even reading that, because I'm thinking, well, who are their pupils? If the teacher and student are the same, who are their pupils? And that just made complete sense to me, because the pupils are the challenges, right? That's what comes to the teacher who's ready to learn. The teacher who is the student receives the pupils, and the pupils come to challenge the thought of the teacher. and then the teacher learns. And in the learning of the teacher is now the idea shared with the pupil, who has now made himself ready to become the teacher, and therefore also the student. Did any of you get that? That was pretty cool, because I was waiting for that whole time to be like, are there other students that the teacher of God has beside himself?
Can you say that again?
Okay, so if you notice in this reading, it didn't say who are the students. It said who are the pupils, right? It didn't say who are the teacher's students. It said who are the pupils. So the pupils come and they don't look like they have the same interests, right? If you read it, it says the pupil and the teacher come together. For the teacher is not really the one who does the teaching, because let's not forget, the teacher and the student are the same, right? So the pupils come and the pupils are doing the teaching, because now that the God's teacher is looking at this relationship that seems different, right? The demarcations they have drawn between their roles, their minds, their bodies, their needs, their interests, all the differences they thought separated them from one another fade and grow, dim and disappear, right? Those who would learn the same course share one interest and one goal, and thus he who was the learner becomes a teacher of God himself. So the pupil who has now become the learner has become the teacher of God through this interaction of the student who was ready to become a teacher, right?
Yeah.
Am I making this confusing? Because I am seeing this so clearly, and it's like,
I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
right? Because in order, the teacher, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Right.
So when I'm the student and I'm ready, then the teacher in me appears, right? And when I'm ready, all the pupils come, right? All of the opportunities to learn, right? Marianne Williamson used to say that. Remember what you wish for. Like when you say, I'm ready to learn, you're going to get an SHIT storm coming your way, because those are all your pupils,
Right.
right? So you're going to have a lot of opportunity to learn, because all these pupils who look different and act different and seem different are all coming to you because you've said, I'm ready to learn. And now that you're ready to learn, you also become the teacher of yourself by seeing the sameness and the oneness in the pupils. And once you share that with your brother, right, the pupils, now your brother's ready to become the student and the teacher.
Okay, connect that with, and for a time, two people enter into a fairly intense teaching learning situations. But where did it say? It was talking about when two people come together.
Yes. Yeah, so the pupil and the teacher, who is
They
also
come-
the student,
Right.
they come together because the student says, I'm ready, right? And the teacher in the student has appeared and said, okay, let's do this. Let's learn this. And here comes the pupil, all these opportunities to grow, all these things that outwardly appear to be a cry for love, right? All anger is really a cry for love. All these things that we would look on and say, okay, what's really happening here? And when we see the Christ in our brother, because we are choosing to learn, because we've decided that we're ready to learn, when we see the Christ in our brother, now our brother goes, what just happened? What just happened? I was angry and I was ready to rip this person's head off, and all of a sudden they're looking at me with love. What just happened? Right? And now the brother becomes the teacher and the student.
Right.
Because the brother has had this experience that it's like, whoa. Now he's seen another as himself.
And so now
Yeah.
knowing that, you close the gap of separation. Like
Right.
there's no hierarchy, there's no separateness. You are open to the lessons, however they come to you, and they may come to you through a myriad of other sources. They can even be happy ones. They don't have to be hard ones, but you are open to receiving those lessons, and then you are able to send out that understanding, that teaching, if you will, back out, but you're all now connected in that loving way because you're open and you're accepting and allowing. So that's how it reinforces these higher lessons of experience. As you experience the little things, it just kicks open the door for the aha of, I couldn't understand how we could be, joined, how we could be one. But these little subtle shifts help us to get it.
Wow.
Yes. And I was thinking, when this happens, when these holy instants happen, these holy relationships happen, it happens outside of time and space. Those concepts don't get in the way at all of giving the gifts of God that we have to give, and in bodies. None of those are needed
Right.
when that happens.
Absolutely.
It's gifts of the Spirit is what we teach and learn.
That's when we are in spirit. Right? The word in spirit is inspire.
Did you want to share something, Carol?
Yeah, I just wanted to say twice it was written, did not see interests as apart from another. And all the talk about pupils, it's like when you spot it, you got it. You finally got it. You get the message when you see that other as yourself. When you spot it, you got it. You know how we can react to something, and it's really a gift to us, to take a look at where is my interest right now. Yeah.
I love that. When you spot it, you got it. That's great, Carol.
Yeah. And in yoga, it's like we are teachers and students to each other. So that's a very familiar thought to anyone practicing. It goes right with the course. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a small book that I came across once, and I gave it away somewhere, and I never got it back. But it's a little book that has all these toddlers in there, and it pretty shows pretty much how we kind of develop from going, we're just a lump sitting there or just laying there. We go from rolling to sitting, perhaps to crawling. But all the moves in this book, all the pictures are of all the yoga poses, from downward dog, upward dog, happy feet. Okay. And it's the natural way that we develop is a lot of the yoga moves themselves. I don't know if I'm making myself clear here, because
Yeah, I think I've seen that too.
have you seen that book?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my son, we never had him on any kind of stroller or anything like that. And I saw him for the first time stand up straight. And the way he got there was by pushing himself against the floor, downward dog position, until he finally stood up. And I saw the look in his eyes, like bright. Oh my God, I'm standing up, but his legs were too weak to hold him. So he sat right down again. Just plopped himself down, like naturally. And man, I get goosebumps because I'll never forget that sight. That was there to witness it. It's the natural way that we develop, that is all our knowing is already in us.
Yeah.
And being able to kind of get, experience that. Well, I don't know. I think I'm just too excited today or something. It's the weather. Beautiful day out here. It's we're so closed in from being cold weather. All of a sudden we have a 70-degree day and sunny and bright. Don't know how to act.
I remember those feelings up north.
Mhm.
So any other conversation around what we've been reading or discovering? I feel like this is such a big aha moment for me that the student and the teacher is yourself, is the same person. I don't think I've ever read it like that before.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't either.
Yeah.
I really like adding the pupils.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that-
pupils.
Like you
Yeah.
finally have the eyes to see, right?
Mhm.
Right, exactly. That's
Yeah.
funny too, Carol, right?
Mhm.
Because it's all within the world of illusion. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to have the body's eyes to
Mhm.
see pupils, right? Because you would see the differences. Otherwise, you wouldn't see any difference.
Right.
Yeah, that's also an interesting choice of word.
Mm.
Our third eye is finally open, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know we still have a few minutes left. I know I will be here next Monday. I think the Monday after I will be in LA again on the 12th, helping my daughter. So um, I will be here next Monday, but then we'll be off on the 12th. But I will be sending out emails to everyone to let them know that I will not be facilitating on that one day. I wanted to give everybody a heads up. Speaking of standing up, my grandson is now standing up.
Uh,
He's 6 months old, so my daughter's like, "Oh my gosh, mom, you have to come back and help me."
now the fun begins.
Now he's mobile.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, now you got to run after him because that's the thing. We don't learn to walk. We learn to run first.
yeah, and he's all boy. I mean, from that perspective, he is ready to go, and he's very strong. Very strong. Well, thank you all for joining. I'm so excited. We're finally in the manual for teachers. I'm excited to keep going on this. Next week, we'll be reading what are the levels of teaching. And that's also really insightful. I love that section too. All of this section is great. I love the manual for teachers. All right. And woohoo, we finished the text again. I never counted how many times, but 33 years of reading this book. So
Mhm.
I'm sure quite a few
Well,
times.
Mhm.
And I
Every-
do still post the lessons in the
Mm.
Facebook group. If anybody is not there or wants to join, it's a free Facebook group, Living a Course in Miracles. I post the lessons every day. So,
I was just going to say I was there the first time you brought it to Unity, and it was about 20 some years ago. Yeah, 28.
gosh, was it really that long ago?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing.
seemed to me anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember Carol asking me about it. I remember Carol, you asking me. You might not remember this. Yes, what's the Course in Miracle? I didn't know quite how to explain it. Do you remember what I said to you?
No, actually, I was studying it in Pennsylvania, and nobody else was. So when I came to Binghamton, I wanted to find out
Have some
what
input.
was really going on
Find a group that was actually talking about it. Yeah.
way back in the 70s.
And you know what? You know how I described it? I said it's written in Christian form with Buddhist ideas.
Mhm.
It's an
That's all I
interesting
could think. That's all I
description.
could think about.
Yeah.
Are you guys talking about Unity? I was looking
Yes.
at the book. Oh yeah. Okay. I missed it. I'm just curious. I was raised in Unity. Just curious what you're saying.
So that's when I first started reading A Course in Miracles. I didn't know there was a study group. I was just reading the book, and then someone saw me reading it and they said, "Are you part of the study group?" And I'm like, "I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means." And they said, "Oh, there's a study group at the Unity Church. You should go check it out." And eventually I did check it out. And the person who was facilitating the study group ended up leaving the area right after I got there, not too long after. And they were looking for a new facilitator. So I was like, I'll do it.
Oh, Terry, I'm talking about when you came to Endicott and you spoke, you were very young then. And
Oh, yeah, yeah.
before any group in Binghamton was happening in Los Angeles was because I started in the 70s with
Yeah,
Andrea. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
Funny, I was raised in Unity through the 70s. But I didn't know that they had, like, I remember A Course in Miracles, but it was like in all these huge folders. It wasn't like a book like this. It was like folders, like, and I remember, um, and then they stopped. I mean, then I went away from it for a while, and when I went back, like when I was 16, it was gone. It wasn't there anymore.
Interesting. You probably got the early, like copied and printed manuscripts because I think they distributed it that way early on before they created the book.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, because I was wondering, I was like, it wasn't like, I was wondering if it was Wapnick's books or something, because I just remember all these big blue folders or like big, binders.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then they were always discussing it, the adults,
Interesting. Yeah.
My Sunday school teacher was way into it. She was amazing. I am so grateful to her.
That's amazing. What a
Yeah.
great way to
What a
be
gift.
raised.
Speaking of, she's gonna see that like ripple. Her love just rippled right on through my life.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
What a
I love-
beautiful class today, you guys. I just, in today's lesson for me, the light has come. So really, and that it's so perfect. Thank you,
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone. Yeah.
Mary.
Gave a perfect example of how things ripple. Like we don't have to worry about being the teacher or having the student get it because we have no idea. We just are ourselves sending that light and love out, and that peace and joy comes to fruition. It's like the seed that develops in its own timing. So we don't have to worry about that. It's just to enjoy the ride. Thanks, everybody.
It was so beautiful, like what Terry said, like, the teacher, like I was ready. And so my teacher, we arrived, guys.
Yeah.
Arrived for
And
me.
we are the teacher, right? Because we're
Yeah,
teaching
Mary.
it to the student within. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
that.
I love that. It's beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm so
Yes,
glad.
thank you, everyone.
Thank you. It was a really amazing class today. Thank you.
All right.
You guys
Thank
have a
See you
great
all
week.
next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep.